Hey, Peter, come here, bud. You want to be in the video? Come here. Are you serious? Oh, here we go. Now that Pete has quite literally got that out of his system, we can begin the show, guys. What is going on, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. It's been a while, but I have a very, very exciting show, the inaugural episode of In the Basement with Justin, my brand new podcast where I pick my friends, family members, fellow content creators, and I show them a movie that they never in a million years would have picked out to watch by themselves. Today's movie, Peter, I'm gonna put you down. Is that okay? You're getting a little heavy. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to our new second camera here. What do you think about this? Maybe this will be just the Pete cam. Okay. So today, guys, the movie in question is a movie called Assholes, and I'm showing it to my good buddy, Planet CHH, aka Christian Hanahara, as I knew him when I started watching his channel years and years and years ago. One of the great things about creating content on YouTube is all the people you meet along the way, and one of those great people that I have met is the man Christian Hanahara, aka Planet CHH. He has a fantastic genre-driven YouTube channel. I'm gonna link all his stuff down below. Him and his wife also have a company called Unita Candles, where they make candles and wax melts. I have a ton of their stuff. I will put all of Christian's links down below, but today we're gonna be talking about Assholes. Two star-crossed lovers who relapse on poppers and become quite literally the biggest assholes in New York. And this movie is extreme. It's not violent, it's not a horror movie, but it is absolutely bottom of the barrel, disgusting, depraved, immoral. Every synonym of disgusting or repulsive is what this movie is, and I had such a good time discussing it with Christian, who had never seen it before I forced it upon his eyes. This podcast is gonna be fun. I've already shot several episodes of this podcast where I show my friends and other content creators the wackiest movies that you probably have never seen. Now, one thing I wanna suggest before these episodes is that if you have not seen Assholes or any of the movies that we discuss on In the Basement with Justin, go watch the movie, come back and watch the discussion. And we had fun talking about this movie today. So guys, welcome to the show. This is the inaugural episode of In the Basement with Justin with our very special guest, Planet CHH. Enjoy. In the Basement with Justin. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Justin's Basement, and welcome to In the Basement with Justin. Today, I have in the basement Mr. PCHH from Planet CHH. How you doing, my man? And I apologize. I apologize in advance for making you watch this movie. I consider us friends at this point, so I guess I don't know if this was a very friendly movie to suggest, but
well, let's not push that. But I will say I feel as good as that Chucky looks in the background.
Okay. Here's the point. Here's the concept behind. This is our loose title right now. We're going to consider this the pilot episode of In the Basement. So the concept of the show is to pick a person and assign them a movie that they most likely would never seek out on their own or have any interest in watching. But you were kind of difficult because you're a horror fan like I am, and we both watch like wacky movies, but I still felt like this movie would be even outside of your wheelhouse. So when I told you about this movie, because I told you a little bit about it, what were your first predictions, or like, what did you think this movie was going to be? Give me your like snap reaction, and then we're going to dive into the movie. And this is a pretty plotless movie, so once we get into talking about it, it'll probably just devolve into talking about how this movie is just scene after scene of ridiculous, like offensive nonsense. Yeah. But yeah, so what's your snap thoughts, and what did you expect from this movie, man?
If people remember, if they're viewers of my channel, they might recall a video that you did with me where you showed the movie, and I legitimately lost it.
From the cracks,
right?
Or the assholes of cinema.
What?
And this movie is called, now all of this movie
that shit.
So I'll tell you what it is, because we lost him. We need to get you an inhaler. So you see the embossed. Oh, holy shit. I've never seen Christian break down this bad. Holy shit. I'm dying.
This is the first pick.
No, I'm dying.
The cover of the movie, I thought it was shit on their mouth. And it literally broke me.
Right.
And so when I saw the cover, I was like, this has to be the nastiest, like germiest, just grossest, like white trash movie of all time. That was my thoughts initially.
Right.
And then when you told me it wasn't crap on their mouth, because, I mean, with the title being assholes, too, you can kind of see how I can make that correlation.
Right.
When you told me it wasn't, you told me it was basically like herpes or chlamydia, whatever it was. I was like, oh, that was just as bad.
Yeah.
You know? And so I just thought it was going to be I had in my mind something to akin to Gummo, right?
Right.
I think that was where it's where a lot of people would probably go.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, this is nothing like Gummo, but I was definitely interested in seeing it because I'm a horror fan, probably first and foremost, yeah, but at the same time, I'm also, and there's really no correlation between these two, but there kind of is. I am a student of the, like, forbidden videos you're not supposed to watch online, disturbing police cam footage, and this movie gave me the vibe and the essence of you're not supposed to see it kind of thing.
Right.
So in that aspect, I was really excited and interested to see it. I don't know why. I don't feel like I delayed watching it, but I definitely should have seen it a little bit. You did have to ask me a couple times, did you see it yet? And I was like, I had it booked on the calendar, and I might have moved it once or twice, but I did see it, and I watched it in the morning, too, which is, I don't know that there's a suggested time to watch it, but I did watch it in the morning for what that's worth. So
Sure, yeah. So you are awake and ready for it. I guess we can intro a little bit of a plot, and I appreciate all of what you thought going into this about the Harmony Korine comparison is something that you brought up when we were talking about this before the show, and I want to get back to that. Essentially, the movie starts out with two addicts. Okay, so we have Ada and Aaron are two people. They're recovering addicts. The beginning of the movie starts out with Ada in this extended, like 6-minute scene of her venting to her therapist about just everything in her life, how she's thinks sober people are lame. She can't imagine why she would fuck a sober person and all this crazy shit, and really gives you a mindset to how unhinged the characters are going to be. And then we meet our other character, and he's equally unhinged, recovering addict. And they basically find each other in the therapist office, relapse on poppers, both get crazy herpes, and then just do debauchery. I don't even know how you describe the shit they do in this movie. They basically just become the biggest assholes in New York. Now, I also didn't know what poppers were when I first started watching this movie. And maybe people can look it up on their own to find. There's a specific genre that this is normally used for in certain communities. But essentially it's a jar of a stimulant that you huff and get euphoric and go psychotic. So that's exactly what Ada and Adam do. They find each other, and then it devolves into herpes, shit monsters, terrorizing people on the street, ass to mouth, full like penetration, sex scenes, right? So this movie was directed by a guy named Peter Vack. And what's interesting is this movie is kind of a family affair. Peter Vack is the actual brother of the actress who plays Ada in this movie, which when you see the movie,
weirder.
Isn't that just
weird?
Fucking weird? Because the things that he films his sister doing in this movie are things that most people, like 90% of the people on planet Earth, wouldn't do behind closed doors anyway. So I don't know if he was in the room when his sister is just butt ass naked, getting her ass eaten out by this dude. I don't know, and I don't know if I want to know. But the beginning of the movie, she goes through her. Ada goes to her therapist, and then she meets up with her brother, and they start hanging out and smoking weed. And that's when you get the feel for this movie that it feels very improvised, but she starts her relapse by hitting her brother's bong. And then they do that gnarly close up where you can see that herpes on his lip. he takes the hit, passes it to her. She gets the herpes, and then she meets Adam, and then the movie just goes kind of crazy.
Yeah, once you get to a certain point in the film, it's like everything has herpes. Like the movie feels like it has herpes. You feel like you get herpes as you watch it. There's definitely a chapter 2 or whatever in this that once it hits, it's like you always kind of there was a certain point in the movie where I was kind of watching the film with my head just cocked a little bit to the side, I got to get ready to because you had warned me about that one scene. And I was just like, fuck, man.
I warned you about full frontal male nudity. That's going to be pretty prevalent.
Dude, that shit was gross. The thing, though, I do say about this film is the frantic kind of speech that Ada gives in the beginning. Like, for me, I was pretty much invested on that scene. I was just like, because I felt that it really set the tone that the movie was going to be frantic and the movie was going to be unhinged, and she was clearly struggling with sobriety. And I've never watched an interview with this guy. I've never listened with the director, that is. I've never really heard his thoughts. So there's a little bit of mystery on my interpretation of the film. But I know I had, when I got done with the movie, I certainly had thoughts, good and bad, about this. But I can put it to you like this. Like, there's not a chance I would ever recommend this to anybody to watch, which is pretty impressive. I got to be honest with you.
I hear you on that. And this is a movie that 99% of movie-going audiences would probably turn off within 10 minutes. And I imagine if you weren't watching this movie for this show, you probably would have done the same. The minute he starts flopping his like herpes-crusted dick, like in a full-on wide-screen close-up shot, which was just nasty. But here's the charm of this movie when we start talking about how weird this gets, because I love movies that, first of all, I think it's shot well. I think it's a really good looking movie. I think it was just shot digital, but everything is brightly lit. It's brightly colored. Every scene pops. And I feel like the edit is really, really good. It almost feels like a movie that an improv troupe would get together and just improv. Like there's that scene at the beginning when she's talking to her brother and he's mimicking everything she's saying.
I just told you that I'm sober. You didn't know that. And then you go into Wow.
And it goes on for like 4 minutes, almost to like the Family Guy style thing where it starts out funny and then it gets not funny and then it goes back around to being funny, at least to me.
Yeah.
And I love throughout the whole movie, I love when directors are just completely unashamed to be as ridiculous as possible and fully commit to the bit. Right? Because this movie is a bit. It's a avant-garde, experimental. I don't know if I'd call it an art film. I think we can get into the Harmony Korine stuff because I would more consider like a Harmony Korine Gummo to be more of an art film.
Sure.
But I'm not sure how much either of these films, when you compare them, I'm not sure what they're trying to say. Like, I don't know what Assholes is genuinely trying to say. You could say that maybe they're commenting on sobriety, they're commenting on therapy and how it helps or doesn't help. I don't know. I believe Peter Vack's parents, who are also both in the movie, I think his dad's a producer and his mom's also a psychologist or something. I'm not familiar with a lot of Peter Vack's films, but I know he's just an actor that, or director that just clearly has no bounds and has no qualms about making a movie that maybe 10 people will see. And I think there's something kind of interesting about that. What made you think of Harmony Korine and Gummo after watching Assholes?
Well, really quick before I get into that, I just want the record to reflect, because you said something that makes me laugh so hard, and I am guilty of this too. But let the record show, whenever somebody recommends a fucked up movie that they know 99% of people, probably 100% of people are going to be like, dude, you're a fucking weirdo. You're disgusting. They always say, You know, but though I thought it was shot really well. They always fucking
but
do
it
that.
was!
But to make yourself sound normal, do you know how many people that told me to watch Serbian film and I came back? I was like, "What the
It's
fuck?" was that?"
beautifully shot.
They go, "It's shot well." What? It's shot well? Like that's always the thing people say to make themselves sound normal.
I mean,
every goddamn time they say that.
That is true, and I'm guilty of that. But Serbian film does have some beautiful lens flares and some really nice wide shots in that movie. But maybe it's not shot well, but it's visually interesting. Like the apartments, the spaces, the I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to make excuses.
Dude, no. This is a thing. Like like I said, I'm guilty of it, but it always makes me laugh. Like you just talked about a mangled dick, full front, 16:9 widescreen, Panavision, and it's like but it's shot well,
dude.
So anyway, like I said, like the opening scene of Ada having her therapy session, where she's just the therapist on the couch, and you're just introduced to this girl. It's actually a brilliant way to start a movie, honestly, because she's the whole intro is her telling you her life story in a sense, but in this frantic, uncomfortable, rapid way. Like, I instantly was like, God, I can't imagine being in like the vicinity of this girl. She's like, it's funny because she's sober, but at the same time, she feels and sounds like she's like extremely high on cocaine or something. Like she's just going 1,000 miles an hour. She looks like she could just rob a bank or just shoot somebody at any second, the way she's just so frantic. And the way it's funny because you mentioned the scene of she goes back to the house with the brother, and there's the best thing about this movie to me was the arc of the brother. I actually really like that he became, I mean, kind of spoiler for the people watching this, but it doesn't ruin the movie, but he actually flips and becomes the good guy, but he gets his shit together. He goes to school, he gets good jobs, and
he puts on that fucking that sweater and that suit, dude. That
sweater and the suit. Yeah, so it's funny because you see these pages turning in their lives, but that's the scene you're talking about where the brother is clearly high and the sister comes over sober and he starts repeating what she was saying.
Yeah.
To me, when I mention Harmony Korine, there's things that I would see Harmony do in his movies that I saw in this. For instance, in Gummo, there's a scene where the two brothers...
I knew you were going to talk about that scene, yeah.
...punching each other, and it goes on a little too long.
I told you not to hit me in the face.
Yeah. And it gets a little too violent.
And it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. I never found that speech thing to be funny after. I never saw it come back to being funny. I was just like, I don't trust this guy. I don't like this guy. God damn. Like, I'm watching it waiting for something to happen. And so I like those elements. I love being made uncomfortable in movies. I don't know why that's a thing where people... They don't like that. I mean, for me, it's fake. It's not real. It's a movie. Like, challenge me. Make me feel, you don't have to make me feel good all the time. I'm pretty good at doing that myself. I can go outside and I can fucking cut the grass and get some sunlight and feel good. But, like, in movies, challenge me. Make me feel uncomfortable. See what you can do. And I do applaud that big time. There were certainly moments in this film. But there was a moment in this, and like once you get to them meeting and you see this volcanic eruption of just sex, disgusting visuals, the kissing scene was brutal. So these two people are on the cusp of basically trying to get their lives together. And all of a sudden, the bottom just falls out. Yeah. And it's sad as a viewer. You're watching these two people just let go. And they're going to, it's almost like leaving Las Vegas in a sense. The way they just accept it. Like, fuck it. I'll be miserable and I'll die. I'll be miserable and I will become addicted if I have you. And it's this weird thing. I'm wondering in my head, is this a common thing? Do people, if they have somebody that they love, that loves them back and that accepts them, is this what happens?
Right.
But visually, it is just shocking. I mean, for a reference, if people see something like Midsummer, where you get a flash of a little pee-pee, this movie, Hold My Beer would be seeing the guy walk out of there and you get a shot. But this one, there's a camera. Basically, it's a POV shot. For all you guys that have seen porn out there and ladies, it's basically a POV shot. And here's the thing I want to know. That was makeup prosthetics, I'm assuming, on the guy. Somebody had to apply those makeup
You know what's funny? On the commentary, they talk about that, and he talked about how he had to fluff himself up a little bit to like get ready for it.
Yeah.
To get ready, because somebody actually had to get like hand to dick and put these little sores on here. But
kind of like Freddy's makeup, like putting the pieces on like his makeup.
And the makeup isn't. This is like it's like trauma level makeup to where it doesn't really, it's not meant to be like, it works because it looks really gross.
It's real enough.
It's real enough. Yeah. But one thing that brought up, and I'm trying to, as I examine these movies like this, I try to find out maybe like what made me latch onto this movie. What about this movie felt special to me to the point where I wanted to watch it 3 or 4 times and show one of my buddies? And I think there's always kernels of things that ring true to me personally. I am now I 7 years sober from alcohol. So I think to me, I latched on to a lot of this sobriety stuff. And it's interesting when you put it so perfectly, these two characters meet at the right time or maybe the wrong time. And it's like a volcanic eruption of everything. 2 assholes combined to be the biggest asshole. So we get these scenes where you brought up that dinner scene, and we can just go scene to scene because none of it makes any sense and there's no story really. Kind of. So Peter Vack directed the movie, and he shoots a dinner scene with these 2 debauched people. One is his sister. The other people at the table on the scene are his own mother and his own father. And he's filming his sister and this other actor, not even like tongue kissing, just like, just being disgusting, spitting in each other's mouth. And of course, it starts out from a close up from about an inch away from the mouth, and then slowly moves out as they're spitting into each other's faces. And it's just disgusting. And then it'll cut to another scene where they're both in 69 position. And to me, I mean, they were really doing that. I think I read on the commentary that they had like a little piece of saran wrap or a dental dam. And there was a point where the guy who plays Jack or whatever his name is said that she would take the dental dam off and lick his butt just to fuck with him. Like, I don't know what this Betsy chick is all about, but she does, this actress, one of the most fearless actresses I've ever seen. She was in that movie. What is it? The Scary of 61st or something. That's the only other thing I've seen her in.
She sounds nuts. She sounded right for the job.
I have a sister, and I just can't imagine these scenarios being shot by me. So it's just so insane. What are some of the crazy scenes that we're forgetting about now? There's the shit monster scene towards the end of the movie, but what happens in between? Like, that's kind of towards the end. What are some of the other scenes that like really made you rethink your life and like wanted to make you call me and say, dude, I can't finish this movie?
It was definitely like they started talking about he wanted to do anal sex so bad, and like he would talk the
gaping scene, his therapy scene.
His therapy scene really bothered me.
Did it really?
You know, I see a girl on the street, I'm just like, I used to be like, oh, what would it be like to see her naked, you know? Or what would it be like if she, you know, to be in a relationship with that person? But now it's just like, well, I wonder what her asshole looks like destroyed.
It bothered me because here's the reality. I think all of us have our secret, you know, sexual desires deep within us.
Sure.
And most dudes probably have and do think about anal sex.
Sure.
Just gonna say it. This guy wanted to literally his desire was to make a woman's ass be the size of the Grand Canyon, and the way he described it, and the
language was bad, wasn't it?
It was rough, man. Like, he made me just like so disgusted,
right?
And just like listen. It's one thing to see something visual, but to hear somebody talk and feel gross is impressive. And that was probably worse than the act, which is ironic, but like that was probably worse than the visual of them doing the like that Turtle 69 thing where they were kind of like, God, man, that speech at the therapy was just That guy was gross. Like
He was gross.
I felt bad for the girl, and I don't know, maybe it's just because as a guy, I look at women, and I go, you want to like, you just want to see all women be in a good place. You don't want to see what there's something about drug addicted women that's harder for me to see. Like,
Sure.
So I always felt for her in the movie. Fuck that dude. Like, I didn't like him. He was such a piece of shit. So that was the weird dichotomy I had, because there was part of me that was kind of like, girl, get away from this dude, please. Like, get the fuck away from this guy so bad.
I think the intention for both of those elongated introduction therapy scenes were to show how these two people are just assholes who exist in their own world, don't give a fuck about anything going on around him. So him talking about that, he could be in therapy talking about anything, his problems, mom, dad, brother, sister, but he's like, you know what gaping is? And then launches into that whole thing.
Which was also cool because the way they set that up, as you're watching this, you're saying to yourself, boy, imagine if these two met each other.
Right.
And then they get together, and then
I guess the biggest name in this movie, not really a star, would be towards the end of the movie. For whatever reason, it's never explained whether it's a hallucination, whether it's real, but she almost shits out like her own like Ghost of Christmas Past or something. Does he shit it out, or does he shit the woman out? I can't remember. I think it's him. But he gives birth to this butt baby that is like a 75-year-old woman covered in shit. And it's the actress whose face we see as Pazuzu in The Exorcist. I saw she had a really interesting face. Yeah, her name is Eileen Dietz. So that is the only recognizable actor. I guess this is her big comeback from being Pazuzu to being like a shit monster. I guess there's two other sequences that I want to talk about, because the end kind of diverts the entire story and then goes into a 100% accurate to a T recreation of a full intervention episode, from the testimonials to the old photos of the children. And because the filmmakers are actually talking to these actors' actual parents, they're kind of giving real stories and showing pictures of these two actors as kids. And it kind of like hit me in an emotional way. But before we get there, at the peak of their debauchery, at the peak of their drug addiction, their sex addiction, their herpes infestation, there's a scene, and it was shot real, where it was shot in New York, like guerrilla style, where the actors were literally just instructed to go out on the street, like what's his name, Tom Green, Jackass style, and just fuck with people. And that guy, you can really see there, that guy is kind of a piece of shit, huh? Because he was really like tormenting those people. The guy with the trash bags, like the janitor guy.
We're in love. We're in love. Hey, fucking dickhead. We're in love.
Yeah, and it's so funny you mentioned that, because I was watching it. I was thinking to myself, back in the 70s, Larry Cohen used to go out in New York and just film shit. They can't do that anymore, though.
Right.
Like, that's what I was thinking to myself. But it came across so dangerous,
right?
Legitimately dangerous, that I was like, are they just filming? Like, are they just going out and filming shit? So, yeah, that stuff makes me so uncomfortable, because, as somebody doesn't live anywhere near New York, but I hear about how dangerous stuff, especially in the early 80s, late 70s, like you just see dead bodies in New York, and people wouldn't even stop to think about it. The idea of just like, okay, we're going to go out in New York, don't break the law, but be a fucking asshole.
But you know what the deal was? I watched the commentary. Now, he could have been bullshitting. I don't know if he was being for real, but the actor said, when I went out there and we were filming this sequence, his goal was to be arrested. He was like, I need to go so fucking hard that I get arrested for something. And it looks like he pretty much tried everything, because he goes and he starts messing with this guy who's changing trash bags, and he's just grabbing his trash bags and throwing them around. Yeah, grabbing the bag. He goes up to a wedding party. He's jumping on top of taxi cabs. He takes a guy's cell phone at one point and just fucking runs down the street with it. And there's a point where he fucks with these two dudes, and they're literally he's really like legitimately getting ready to get his fucking ass beat. And you can see a couple times, if you're watching the movie, Betsy, the actress, she looked uncomfortable, like, we need to get out of here. Especially when he was on the escalator, you could see like, this may be like a little too much. And then he runs into the AMC theater and just starts fucking screaming. It was so fucking wild, man.
That
I
right
love
there
that
was
scene.
that right there was worth the price of admission, because like I actually forgot about that scene until you mentioned it. But yeah, that shit makes me so, because I legitimately feel bad for the people that aren't in on it.
Right.
But it is so impressive to see the balls on that guy to do what he did. That shit right there was also probably the most uncomfortable stuff, because you have to
like Tom
see
Green.
it to understand how dangerous the shit was.
Right.
There's like those people in the movie that they don't look like actors. Like, you can't fake a real New Yorker like out on the street at night. So yeah, that scene up until that point, dude, like I was still in the movie. Now, I don't know if you want to go through a little bit more, but I can tell you where it did lose me.
Please, yeah, absolutely.
I am in love with this woman's perfect little asshole.
Sayonara, suckers!
So here's my thing. And I say it as a compliment, dude. I was really getting those Harmony Korine kids and kind of kids vibes, where you're watching these people that truly just live these lives that are not good. They have no real direction, and they're going downhill, and you want to stop it. You want to get involved so bad and do something, but you're watching it. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
By the point where it turns into this extremely bizarre neo-realistic comedy where the woman comes out and she's just hanging out with them because she's in the mine, and by the time you get to the intervention, this isn't a fair critique, but this is genuinely how I felt. I felt, why did you sissy out and make this so over the top at the end? I wanted to see them die in a dramatic way. I wanted to see one of them finally get hit by a car on the road. I wanted to see the other girl just maybe watch the boyfriend die right in front of her, and then she cries, then she just kills herself in some weird way. I wanted to see that moment at the end where the one guy in the kids movie had, like, you think he's this kind of fun-loving guy the whole movie, but at the end he commits that crime on the girl that has the you know what, where she's trying to tell the star of the movie she's sick, basically.
Yeah. That's so
I was waiting for that moment. And
you wanted like a legitimate piece of drama, or you wanted it to be tongue in cheek, or what?
No, I wanted a legitimate piece of drama, because I was so invested in the train wreck. I was waiting for the crash. But when it went in this completely different direction that I would thought of, it's not a fair criticism. I understand that, because clearly this guy had this but it felt like a cop-out way to do the movie. I wanted to see the family be completely torn. I wanted to see the dad get so upset at seeing what this guy did to his daughter that he went out and killed him.
Yeah.
Or something horrible. I
Like
was
something,
waiting for
if
that.
they would have been like dancing around in the middle of the street, and then a bus comes by and
hits
just
them.
splatters blood, and then it just says assholes on the screen or something crazy. That actually is interesting. I think that would have been great.
And that's
we definitely
why I
didn't
say,
get
yeah.
that.
Well, that's why I say, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to this movie or this director, but that's why I say, you know what? This movie actually did make me look at Harmony Korine in a different light, because I rewatched Gummo this past year, and honestly, I didn't love Gummo anymore. I don't get it. I don't know what he's really trying to say. Kids, I love.
Yeah, Kids is great.
Kids shows the horrors of unsupervised kids with no role models in their lives.
And it's not comedy. It's not a comedy. It's played straight, even though it's
played
weird.
straight.
The comedy comes from the reality of the
know,
people, the interactions. Yeah.
But it's heartbreaking, and I swear, I thought I'm about to watch the 2019 Kids. I thought that's what I was watching, because it was heading this way, and all of a sudden, whoosh, a U-turn, not a right turn, but like the story takes this U-turn.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that, and I had my mind set on what was going to happen. That doesn't mean that I don't think it's not funny. Mm-hmm. It's hysterical.
They end the movie with, I really don't give a fuck about spoiling this movie, because you can't really spoil movies like this. And even us describing how crazy this movie is, you have to see it to believe it anyway. But The ending of the movie, it cuts to I don't even know if they had to pay the rights or something because it's so close to an intervention. The testimonials, the parents talk about, "Oh, Ada was just a great kid. She was such an amazing student."
And she was like the sweetest, most easy child a mother could ever imagine having.
And then they talked about Adam and how fucked up he was. And by the end of the movie, instead of just playing themselves, they are playing themselves. But at this point in the intervention episodes, they both have full prosthetic butthole masks where their face is just an asshole. And the only sounds you hear are like little fart noises in the background. It's funny because the director said he wasn't sure if the fart noises were too much. And if anybody's seen my voice, my videos, you know, I'm pretty big on the fart noises. But what the hell did you think of this perfectly to a T recreated intervention episode that they closed it off with? The masks are falling off, fart noises are going. What the hell did you make of this fucking ending?
It was sensory overload for sure because the abruptness of the Learning Channel type documentary TV show, like it literally came out of nowhere. And it was so weird because like I almost got the vibe that the parents were so nonchalant about the daughter the whole time that it was almost this is where it lost me a little bit. Like I almost felt like the parents were a little too nonchalant about their daughter spiraling out of control that I didn't really buy them. This is where the disconnect comes. I almost really didn't buy them in the documentary acting like they cared as much as they did because they blissfully were just like, "Oh, that's our daughter, we love her." But it was that's where the disconnect comes from me. I like the style of going to like the documentary of like them talking, but I was so like annoyed isn't even the right word. I was so thrown off and just like, what are we doing here? But the makeup of them was fucking hysterical. Like I can't even deny it.
It was hilarious, right?
It was hysterical, and I love that. And it was just nasty. It was just so nasty the way that it covers their entire face too. So they just got to sit there, not be able to see nothing, but just seeing that you just know the whole time. Like I got to admit, like even though it went in directions, I was just like, damn it! I thought we were gonna get kids, and I wanted that, but the masks won me over a little bit because of how ridiculous it is. And then they're taking pictures with the family, like it's like no big, like they're like the
a
family
Spears
portraits.
photo.
Yeah, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, man.
They said they actually took those photos at J.C. Penney's. They went to J.C. Penney's. I guess they tried a few different prosthetics. Yeah, because they looked authentic, right? They looked like those old family photos. But when they went to do that scene, I guess they had tried a couple different designs that didn't work. And when they did those, they created and fabricated those masks within 24 hours. So there wasn't a mold. There wasn't like a life cast or anything like that, like a big budget movie. They just kind of half-assed it. And there was no breathing holes. So the only air was, you can see it when it kind of sucks in when they're breathing. Sometimes the mask sucks in.
Yeah.
Which was so fucking funny in between the fart scenes. And also now that we're talking about the effects, at the beginning during his gaping scene, I don't know if you noticed, there was some shit on his fucking neck. And that's all I could look at in that scene was something weird on his neck. And now I'm realizing that was probably makeup, residual makeup. Christian's dying thinking of the asshole faces. There was some residual makeup on his face in another scene. I'm like, what the hell is on his chin? And now when you watch the end, you know that they're probably running and gunning and shooting this movie in the period of a week. But I can't stress enough how even though they're in asshole masks, even though there's fart sounds and all this crazy shit, how accurate they recreated this intervention episode was just incredible. They bring them in, they have the intervention people, they have the parents, they bring Ada and Jack in their asshole masks, and they're just like, oh no. And all you hear is like, the more excited they get, the more frustrated they get, the more rapid the fart noises start happening when they cry. That's when it was just, I'm a sucker for that shit, but it does end up just being a hodgepodge of gross out comedy with certain things in between. You know what I mean? So actually, I give you credit for seeing enough in the movie to that maybe you wanted a little bit more. I think that's actually kind of a compliment to the movie in some way. Even if you wouldn't rewatch it, you know, there's something about this goddamn movie, man. There's just something about it.
Well, it's definitely a conversation piece I can have now going forward with people. Like, man, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? Like, I can say, well, hey, you need to. There's this movie called Assholes.
I think everybody, if they surround yourselves with like movie people, like super movie nerds, there's going to be some Trauma fan or Vinegar Syndrome fan. The release I got came from. It came from Vinegar Syndrome, and it was a sub-label, Collective. The Collective is who put this one out. And there's the ad for the poppers that they're doing. It's called Charge. Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
The story of two assholes, and there's the cover of the movie. There's Adam, I think his name is, and then there's Ada. It's as always, only Vinegar Syndrome would put this much work. There's fucking 3 commentary tracks. There's a video commentary track. There's an audio commentary track. There's interviews with the 2 stars' parents, a short film, and it's got way too many special features for how ridiculous the movie is. But Christian, I appreciate that you watched it. You were a fucking soldier for sitting through this movie, and I'm glad. I'm if there was anybody that was going to be on the inaugural episode of In the Basement with, I'm glad it was you, dude. And I had a blast talking about this movie, man.
Well, let me ask,
what a crazy movie.
Let me ask you this though. Like you mentioned, like the way I saw the movie going. I mean, do you also see merit there that like this could have been like the 2019 version of Kids in terms of just like being one of the most intensely dark looks at horrible people?
I think there's a version of that movie that could be like this, but I just don't think that's what it's trying to be. I think this movie falls in exactly the place that it should. I think everything I love about the movie is probably the things that most people wouldn't like or be dissatisfied with, and that's what I like about it. So, although you brought up an interesting thing with the ending, having them just fucking go out in a blaze of glory or die, I think would have been great. I think that actually would have been a cool ending. Maybe the intervention could be like an alternate ending or something. I think he just had a real hard on to do that intervention thing, didn't know how to throw it in the movie, and just made it the ending, you know, because it does just kind of end, doesn't really know how to end. So I see what you're saying there, but I'm happy just the way it is. As Mr. Rogers says, I'm happy just the way you are, assholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like if I could describe this for people in music terms, if you go in thinking you're gonna get the Ramones kind of punk, but it's Iggy Pop, and it's just insane. It's weird.
I would go one step further. I would say it's G.G. Allen.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I would say you go in expecting Iggy Pop, and you get fucking shit on your face from G.G. Allen. You know what I mean?
I put it to like I say I wouldn't recommend this movie to somebody. I would recommend it on a dare. And that's almost a compliment in and of itself, right? Like
that's the nature of this show. I essentially dared you to watch this movie.
You know? So I can say I've seen Assholes in more ways than one.
And I'm really excited. I have a couple of other. This is one of the more gnarly movies. I have a couple of other titles. I have An Unfortunate Soul that's going to be sitting through The Greasy Strangler with me. I have a buddy that's going to be watching a 90s undercover cop biker Charlie Sheen drug addict movie. I have some really wild titles that are some of my favorite movies. I'm going to get somebody who hasn't seen or isn't expecting Poultrygeist. I'm going to fucking dump that on somebody. So I can't wait to do more episodes of this show and make some people uncomfortable. But
excellent.
Christian, dude, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. If you want to tell people where they can find you, what you do on your channel, or all that good stuff.
Yeah, guys. So my channel name is Planet CHH. I've been on YouTube now for over 12 years. And if you want to come check out my stuff, I do a lot of physical media, but I don't want you to look at my channel as a physical media channel. I use physical media as a way to talk to you about the movies I love. I do a lot of live streams where we can hang out, and I talk with my audience. We could talk about whatever. Those are always fun. And yeah, I also sell wax melts, and we're pretty damn good at it too. Please check us out. Unita Candles, like Unita from Return of the Living Dead. Check us out there. We have an Instagram page where we promote all of our stuff. We sell on Etsy, and we are good at what we do. Trust me. You get something at Walmart, it will last half the time of what we make. So give us a shot there too. But yeah, Planet CHH. Just look me up on YouTube, Instagram. Pretty much that's where you'll find me at that name. And I'd love to have you guys if you're not familiar with my channel. So please and thank you. Come check me out. And thank you, Justin. I had a great time. It was really fun.
We always have a good time hanging out, and I can't stress enough how prolific you are. You put out a video every day, don't you? You're pretty much daily at this point. You may miss a day, but you're pretty much 4 or 5 videos a week. So if you're into movies, physical media, and just movie reviews, collecting, pop culture, it's fucking everything. Your channel, you're one of the first channels I ever watched on YouTube. It's crazy to think about how I used to watch your channel years and years and years ago, and now we're on a call talking about assholes. It's just fucking crazy. And I will link the channel. I'll link your store down below. I have a ton of Unita wax melts. They are amazing. So I'll link that store down below. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for coming to my basement. We will see you next time. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, you did it. You made it all the way through the episode. Thank you for listening and watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of In the Basement with Justin. All past and future episodes will be right here on the channel, so hit that button.